input in the form of ending inventory from the previous interval. Also, a decrease or increase in the production quantity will be transformed from the previous quarter. There is a production quantity associated with the quarter, and it has to satisfy the related demand. Finally, the ending inventory of this period and the difference in the production quantity will be passed on the next quarter. So this is the network here, this is the balances here, and the whole big picture of the process. Very similar to the previous one, but with some different definitions. We have some decision variables as the number of units produced in quarter I, the number of units in inventory at the end of quarter, the increase in the number of units produced from quarter I-1 to quarter I, and the differences in the number of units produced from quarter I-1 to quarter I. The objective function involves three types of costs, as decreasing or increasing cost and the inventory holding cost. According to the information available in the problem, we can formalize it in this form, as you can see. Two types of balance constraints exist in this problem. First, like the first category, focuses on the relationship between the production quantity of the current and the previous quarter. To set up the second type of the balance constraints, the input and the output for each of the quarters should be equal. Here, pay attention that UI or DI has already been included in the PI using the first type of constraint. So only the ending inventory will suffice. Now, developing the model would be easily done. So as you can see, this is the objective function we talked about, and then we have some initial conditions and the balance constraints for each quarters for considering the production and also the inventory. Very easy, and all variables must be equal to or greater than 0 as well. The last question is about cutting stock, and in this question we have a company that stocks 1 centimeter diameter dowels in a standard width of 200 centimeters. A customer is interested in buying dowels of widths 120, 45, and 40. And here the challenge for the company is how to divide this standard dowels into the customer's desired products in order to get the minimum amount of wastage. How many patterns exist here? Just pause the video and think about it. In how many ways you can divide a 200 watts dowel into the desired products of the customer? All right, let's make an example for this purpose. With a 200 watts dowel, I can get one 120 and one 45 plus an amount of wastage equal to 35. The other pattern can be well, 120 to 40 with 0 amount of waste. And following the same logic, we can create 7 different patterns, as you can see. Among all of the available patterns, only 2 of them are just produce 0 amount of waste. Pattern number 2 and pattern number 7. Based on the explanations, the less patterns I have, the less material I will use. So the more profit I will have. Therefore, one proper way to model this problem is to consider the number of patterns made up of type I as the decision variable and try to minimize the total number of this number. Now, let's think about this. Which patterns produce product type number 1, which is 120 centimeter width long dowel? All right, only patterns number 1 and pattern number 2. And pay attention that one pattern 1 or one pattern 2 just result in one product with width of 120. Therefore, the summation of P1 and P2 should satisfy customers' demand regarding the first product, I mean 120. But in the case of, let's say, the 45 centimeter width product, each pattern number 3 just like produces 4 of it. And this is the situation that you can see in the constraint number 2, 4 of P3. And based on the same logic again, we will develop constraint number 2 and constraint number 3. And all of the variables should be integer and equal to greater than 0. That's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that this problem solving session has helped you to, well, develop some ideas and learn something. Thank you. And we will have the other problem solving sessions for the other chapters as well.